Hello guys, welcome back, and this time we're going to talk about the lawsuit between Zenimax and Oculus Rift and Facebook. There hasn't been much to talk about this lawsuit in a while due to the fact there's been no judgment on anything. These cases take a long time. But basically, it's in the news because a U.S. District Court judge, in Texas, dismissed Oculus and Facebook's reason for throwing this case out of court, and the reason was that Oculus and Facebook contend that Zenimax's claim should be dismissed because unjust enrichment is not a cause for action recognized under Texas law. Well, Zenimax argues that courts in the district have recently denied motions to dismiss unjust entitlement claims, and the court just simply elects not to dismiss the plaintiff's case at this time. While it seems unsettled whether unjust enrichment may stand as an independent cause of action, whether a plaintiff has pled a breach of contract action, as Zenimax has in this case, it may maintain unjust theory of recovery as well. And accordingly, defendant's motion to dismiss is denied. Now, this does not mean this case could not be dismissed down the road. Right now, due to what they know, there is no really one way or the other to prove whether this was the cause or not. Now, the reason this lawsuit happened was in May of 2014, Zenimax is claiming its rights to its intellectual property that powers the Oculus VR headset were basically, it was their patent, it's their stuff that they're using to power the Oculus Rift. And the other reason this happened was because the backbone of this claim is the allegation that former id Software designer John Carmack, who left the studio and his parent company to join Oculus in November of 2013, improperly took Zenimax's intellectual property with him to Oculus, and they believe they're using that for this thing. Now, let's be honest. Zenimax says this helped Oculus VR grow from a fledgling startup in Silicon Valley to a darling under 2 years. Now, this is a big deal, more for Oculus than it is for Zenimax. If Zenimax loses, doesn't hurt them one way or the other. If Oculus and Facebook lose, if they can prove the very components that are used to run this headset, they own it. They own the patent to it. They own the rights to it. Then Oculus could either, one, be dead the way it's designed because Zenimax doesn't want to work it out in any way. Two, Zenimax could license it to them. Or three, Zenimax could simply sell the whole thing to them. Now, the problem, again, with this is that this thing could be personal effect that John Carmack left the company for another company. Who knows how that situation went when he left? Truthfully, who knows how it actually went down? John Carmack has claimed on Twitter that he's never used a single code he ever wrote at Zenimax at Oculus. And everything he did there was owned by Oculus, and none of it was ever written at Zenimax. So something's got to give here. Of course, we don't know much because, again, the case really hasn't gone very far down the road. We don't really know all the details, because as this case goes on, the details will leak out of what really happened, what really transpired when John Carmack left, who really owns what. Zenimax would not do this if they didn't think they had a chance to win. Now, that does not mean that they're not doing this to slow down the Oculus from coming out. That if John Carmack had left bad blood in that company, it would not be the first time a company did something to block somebody else from doing something because they left, and maybe left in a bad manner. That's not uncommon. But Zenimax wouldn't Zenimax is not a company that sues everybody, truthfully. So they don't sue very often, like Nintendo has in the past, or other big companies you can name that are sue happy. Zenimax doesn't really sue that often, so you may wonder, maybe they do have a claim to this. Again, if Zenimax thinks they have a claim to this, and everybody thinks virtuality is going to be big as it is, then they're protecting themselves, because they may see it as, we own this, and they may want to license it to them, and maybe simply Zenimax went to Facebook and said, hey, you know what? If you license this, then we won't have a problem. Or maybe Facebook had gone, and Oculus had gone to Zenimax. Zenimax doesn't want to work with them. We don't really know the details, but right now the case is going through. That does not mean it won't get dismissed. If any time the judge feels there's not enough evidence, or what they're trying to do is not right, they can simply dismiss it. So this doesn't mean the case is gonna fully be made to ruled on down the road. It could simply still get dismissed. But as for this ruling, this particular thing that Oculus and Facebook are trying to end for, they're not going to allow that to be dismissed right now. Anyway. So, and of course, Oculus made this silly comment. What was it? A representative made a silly comment that it's unfortunate when these types of transactions, people kind of work with ridiculous and absurd claims. We intend to vigorously defend Oculus and investors to the fullest extent. Nobody cares about the investors except for you. I mean, don't ever bring that up. That rubs people the wrong way. But in a separate statement, Oculus added, we are disappointed and not surprised by Zenimax actions, and we will prove that all of its claims are false. There you go. So, the first comment the representative should never said, quite frankly. It's a dumb comment. It does not make you look good in any way. So, anyway, what do you guys think of this lawsuit going to go ahead? I mean, I know this is even worse due to the fact that Timecomer recently came out for Oculus, which has got people talking on top of it. This is only going to draw more attention to the lawsuit. So what do you think about this lawsuit and the fact that it's going to go forward? Are you hoping to see a real ruling on this lawsuit, to really one way or the other put this to bed? Because truthfully, the only way this really gets put to bed is if there is an actual ruling one way or the other, for one side against the other. If the judge dismisses it, all Zenimax is going to do is go back, look at a different angle, and come back, and they're going to come right back at it again. That's all they're going to do. They're not going to give it up that easy. Big companies never do. Anyway, love to hear your guys' opinions like always, and I will make another video soon. Later, guys.